Right now at noon, residents on Baseline Boulevard in Missouri witness crash after crash. We take a look at why this road claims so many victims.
And we've got some clouds, we've got some heat, and we've got the opportunity for some pop-up storms. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, how the summer heat is causing some roads to buckle, creating dangerous driving conditions.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The number of crashes seems to be increasing on a particularly dangerous road in Jasper County. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Now, from minor fender benders to head-on collisions, Baseline Boulevard in Jasper County has seen a number of accidents in recent years. Now, while the history of incidents on the road is not unique, Tri-Cities Fire Protection District says it seems the number of accidents has increased. According to Tri-Cities Fire Chief Clayton Richardson, since 2021, 24% of total wrecks in the district occur on Baseline. 75% of those wrecks result in injury or fatality.
While a particular cause would be difficult to point out, it does seem with high shoulders, uneven lanes, and pretty narrow bridges usually, it would seem that there's not a lot of room for error and pretty severe consequences when there is an error or mistake made.
The intersection of Baseline and Highway 43 has been the scene of several serious accidents in recent years, including 2 in the past month. Now, Chief Richardson says factors such as speed, staying off your cell phone, and paying attention to traffic signs are steps we can all take to increase safety on every road. Well, odds are you've seen the videos of major street buckling and causing traffic headaches in the past week because of summer heat. It's something that happens here in the Ozarks as well. Nick Kelly has more.
Our first taste of summer propelled highs into the lower 90s this past weekend. Couple that with our wetter than normal spring, that's trying to set up a recipe for roads to buckle. MoDOT says figuring out which roads will buckle is unpredictable. An engineer tells me that the weather and gaps in the concrete all play a role.
With the heat, that pavement expands, and so that causes pressure, and you add in there the moisture that can get under the pavement, and that can weaken the pavement and cause that pavement to buckle or warp.
While some road buckling has been seen in places like Springfield before, it's been the cause of many headaches on I-44 around Doolittle in the recent past. Doolittle firefighter Robert Salee recalls how one incident last year impacted a family of 4.
The mother, the father, and 2 children actually launched about 75 feet before they landed and caused serious, irreparable damage to their vehicle and also some minor injuries to the family from their seatbelts on the impact.
While that family couldn't drive away, firefighters were able to give them a ride to Marshfield. Experts say you can help keep yourself and others safe if any road problems arise by keeping a sharp eye on the road and try your best to safely and slowly avoid any buckled roads. If you see any buckled roads, experts want you to report it right away so crews can get the road in safe and working order again.
911 is the quickest option in most cases. If you're on the highway and you're away from a town or a city, then Star 55 is a direct line to the highway patrol, and they can usually get somebody out there right away.
You can also report it to MoDOT by calling customer service at 888-ASK-MoDOT or by going to its website. Well, it's another hot day for us today. Let's go to Chris Warner for first weather.
Yeah, it is another hot and muggy day, and again, our temperatures haven't been so bad. They've been only 2 or 3 degrees above normal. It's the humidity. Send those heat index higher. We've got the clouds out there. Downtown Pittsburgh, same partly cloudy skies from the MoDOT camera at 20th and range line in Joplin. And where we went yesterday, this is the other part that's been hurting us, is our overnight lows staying well above average, but see our highs not that bad. Compared to normal. Yeah, it's toasty. I'm not saying it's not. And it's toasty again, partly cloudy skies, 87 in Joplin, feels like 93, south winds gusting to 21. Over to Pittsburgh again, you can see some of the darker clouds. They're trying to get together for some of those pop-up storms. 86 feels like 95. Look at dew point at 75. Temperatures out there already mid-upper 80s for just about everybody, and then those heat index values, low, mid-upper 90s, feels like 100 in Iola. We do have those pop-up storm chances really from about 2 to 6 again. And then we'll start to clear out as we head into the evening hours with partly cloudy skies after midnight, still near 80 by 11 o'clock. We do have some actual thunderstorm chances in the next couple of days. We'll go over those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, authorities charge a Lamar, Missouri woman with multiple felonies in connection with allegations of assault on a child. Tina Fiala faces 2 counts of felony domestic assault and 1 count of felony endangering a child. According to court documents, officers responded to a home in Lamar regarding a missing child. Authorities found the child with a large bruise on his upper lip and red marks on his face and eyelid. He said Fiala had hit him and he ran away from home because he was afraid she was going to drown him. He told officers Fiala turned on the bathroom sink and clogged the drain. He claims she then tried to place the child's head under the faucet. Fiala remains in the Barton County Jail. And a former McDonald County Schools custodian charged in connection with the camera found in the girls' locker room at McDonald County High School has requested a change of venue. Back in September, authorities charged Roger Copeland with multiple felonies, including felony sexual exploitation of a minor, after discovering the camera in the girls' locker room. Copeland has requested a change of venue from McDonald County, and while the special prosecutor in the case did not object, both sides must agree on the location by the time Copeland appears in court on July 29th. Otherwise, a decision will be made that day. You can read more about the history of this case on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. And Missouri schedules its first execution of 2025. Lance Shockley was found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Patrol Sergeant Dwayne Graham outside his home in Carter County in March 2005. Testimony during the trial indicated Shockley killed Graham because he was investigating Shockley for involuntary manslaughter and leaving the scene of an accident. The execution is scheduled to be carried out on October 14th. Shockley's execution would be the first under Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe. Well, President Trump is meeting with world leaders at the NATO summit in the Netherlands today and is also sitting down with Ukraine's president. But the U.S.'s strikes on Iran's nuclear sites are still the dominant topic of discussion. Natalie Brand has more details from the White House.
We hear it was obliteration. It was a virtual obliteration.
President Trump is refuting an initial classified assessment by the Defense Intelligence Agency that found Iran's nuclear program may have only been set back by a few months, according to sources familiar with its contents.
It's gone for years. Very tough to rebuild because the whole thing has collapsed.
Officials familiar with the report also caution it's an early assessment that could change.
It said it could be very devastating, very serious.
Moderate to severe, and we believe far more likely severe and obliterated.
Later, the Israelis backed up the president, saying the U.S. and Israeli strikes set back Iran's ability to develop nuclear weapons by many years.
The devastating U.S. strike on Fordo destroyed the site's critical infrastructure and rendered the enrichment facility totally inoperable. It was devastated.
The conflict with Iran dominated the initial hours of the NATO summit, but now Russia's war on Ukraine is back in focus. President Trump met behind closed doors with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky.
What I took from the meeting couldn't have been nicer, actually, but I took from the meeting that he'd like to see it end. I think it's a great time to end it. I'm going to speak to Vladimir Putin and see if we can get it ended.
NATO's Secretary General also announced that members have agreed to increase spending on defense to at least 5% of their GDP. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
President Trump says the U.S. will also be speaking with Iranian officials soon about a new peace deal. And coming up, the kids at Columbian Elementary in Carthage find a way to beat the heat. And later, we're making orange cream bars in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. For those who work outside in the heat, cooling off is a necessity. We caught up with a landscaping company in Joplin whose employees face the sun head on and have some tricks up their sleeves when it comes to beating the heat.
I mean, it's a mixture of a lot of things. We definitely take a lot of breaks. We make sure we have a lot of cold beverages. We make sure if there's shade on the property, like at this property, there's a lot of shade. So we make sure if there's shade, you know, we go take a seat or in the shade every once in a while. But really, you just kind of got to, as much as it sucks to say, you got to push through it.
According to the Mayo Clinic, one sign of heat stroke is when the core body temperature reaches 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if this does happen, you should seek medical attention. And warmer temperatures didn't dry out the fun for some Carthage Elementary students yesterday. Students at Columbian Elementary celebrated Water Day. The day has students enjoying a time outside at various stations featuring water activities. Those activities range from water shooter target practice to jumping in sprinklers with the Carthage Fire Department. And some super teachers were recognized yesterday by the Southwest Center for Educational Excellence in Webb City. 13 nominees from districts across Southwest Missouri were honored at the Regional Teacher of the Year celebration. A committee made up of area educators and community members helped select 2 of the nominees to represent Southwest Missouri in the statewide competition for Missouri Teacher of the Year.
What these teachers all have is just the ability to love and teach kids, and that is a special human, but they truly love what they do. There is no better job.
Now, the 2 teachers who will compete at the state level are Jennifer Shook from Verona and Carrie Mattingly from the Wheaton School District. And still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Today, we have a summery dessert that'll bring back childhood memories. You won't want to miss it.
And we are tracking thunderstorm chances over the next couple of days. Details when the KOAM News at Noon returns. Welcome back to the KOAM News at Noon. So it's another hot and muggy day across the area, but it of course is summertime. Let's start with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Again, if you look, you see those cloud bases getting a little darker. Now, it doesn't mean a lot. It just means they're trying. They've got a little bit of weight to them, but nothing on Skywatch Storm Tracker as of right now in our immediate area. In fact, looking at it off to the side, the only little pop-up shower we have is well outside of our area, northwest of Rolla. We are going to continue to stay hot as we go through today and into tomorrow. And again, the temperature is not significantly above normal for our highs. We're just factoring in, like in Pittsburgh today, that 75-degree dew point and the high humidity, putting those heat index values at uncomfortable levels, like in Iola right now, where it feels like it's 100 degrees. We'll have those mild overnights still, which, of course, doesn't give us much of a break from the heat. We head into our Friday, and if you figure it's going to be hot and muggy again, you are correct. Now, believe it or not, we are looking at the possibility of some relief from this heat as we head into next week. And so we're going to talk about that in a moment. But first, let's get through our pop-up storm chances today and then the thunderstorm chances we have tomorrow. And if you were with us this morning, I'm going to tell you, this is why yesterday we mentioned it's not anything concrete yet. It's showing up, but there's still some variances in the data. In fact, the latest updates you're going to see, again, if you were with us this morning, it's a bit different than what it looked like this morning. Still the storms, just not in the same way. All right, so you look and you barely see them, but we do have those opportunities for pop-up storms, again, roughly between 2 and 6, and really anywhere in the area. They'll be very isolated. Then we go into our Thursday. Now, this morning, it started at noon with a few more showers than that, and then gradually increasing by the late afternoon, early evening, and initially holding out in our northwestern counties before around midnight or so, getting a complex to try and push east across the area north of I-44. That's changed since then. So by 4, you can see we do have some pop-up storm chances out there tomorrow afternoon, which is not unexpected. We have one little thunderstorm maybe into Greenwood County, but here we are at 6. So this is where our severe risk, or at least our limited severe risk, starts to come into play. Is after 5 o'clock tomorrow, we get these thunderstorms out there, and some of those could be strong to low grade severe. Now later in the evening, they kind of begin to die out. We try and get a couple more going in our northern counties overnight, but as you see, as of this morning, we had a complex at this point that was in the Fort Scott and Pittsburgh. That has changed at this time and will very likely change again, but now it's showing, or at least suggesting, we may have later day thunderstorm development. So it's looking like that complex from 2 a.m. Friday is now being transitioned to about noon to 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, but we still see showers. We still see the thunderstorm chances out there, but they're much more limited. So again, we're going to have to just kind of wait and see exactly how all that pans out. As of right now, still no hail or tornado risk areas highlighted, and this will very likely change as we head into tomorrow, but we still have that isolated damaging wind risk in our northwestern counties as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So something we'll want to keep an eye on. Our heat risk, of course, continues to be uncomfortable to say the least, but I wanted to quickly show you what happens as we go through with those rain chances. Initially, again, Saturday, Sunday, still we have that minor to moderate, but then we get into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and we see considerable improvements. So again, about 90 today. South winds out there, occasionally gusting for some of us. We'll keep an eye on those thunderstorm chances, but next week, look at that. Temperatures may even fall a little below normal with a few more clouds and maybe a couple of more of those pop-up storm chances. So heat index values will drop, and that's why our heat risk begins to drop a little at the beginning of next week as well. So maybe a little relief on the way, just a few more days to go.
Sounds like it, Chris. Thanks. Well, stick around. We're making orange cream bars in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, Howard is making orange cream bars in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
I remember when I was a kid, we'd play outside after dinner and wait for the ice cream truck to come by. I'd either get a berry treasure or a nutty buddy. And sometimes I would get my mom a creamsicle since it was one of her favorites. And when I did, she'd let me play outside for an extra half hour or so. So if you love the combination of orange and vanilla, then you're going to love the brownie-like bars we're making today. All we do is add a package of vanilla pudding, a couple of eggs, and some oil to a box of orange cake mix. Once that's mixed, we toss in a handful of white chocolate baking chips. Now, since this is more like a dough than a batter, we press it into the bottom of a baking dish. Once it's level, we bake it off until it passes the toothpick test. While it's in the oven, we'll whip together a quick homemade cream cheese frosting. You could always use a pre-made frosting, but with how easy and tasty this one is, I think this is the way to go. Once you bite into these, between the orangey bottom studded with all the white chocolate chips and the cream cheese frosting, I can assure you, your taste buds are gonna be very happy. I do hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our orange cream bars as a way to enjoy the taste of summer without having to wait for the ice cream man. Hey Kelly, come try these. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a summery way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. See how fast she comes with it?
We can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's take a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, so we've got ourselves those muggy conditions again today. A couple of pop-up storms possible. We'll watch those thunderstorm chances tomorrow and the Friday. Otherwise, still hot and muggy. That continues into the weekend. A few more shower and thunderstorm chances, at least some, to start next week, bringing our temperatures down to a more manageable level.
All right, that looks great, Chris. Thanks. Well, coming up tonight at 5, we'll take a look at the first all-electric power hospital in the nation making medical history. Plus, the Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri hosts a tech camp for its members, and vinyl record sales are booming. We visit local music shops to see how they're riding the wave. You can join us for those stories and more on KOAM News at 5. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.